busy in there. I wonder what's inside.
What's up ahead is like nothing we've encountered. If you want to turn back, now's the time.
I can't. She's waiting for me in there.
But this part is really dangerous. Listen to me for once.
She's in there. I have to go.
Fine. Man, you're so stubborn. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Okay.
Oh, now you're all cooperative.
Shiny and sparkly this one is. What do you think of it, Princess? Princess, I found this on a beach far to the north. The ocean sparkled just like this stone. See how lovely? Pink and precious. Please
That
wake up,
merchant guy.
Princess.
He isn't human, is he?
Princess, look at this! If you peer into this blue vial, you'll get a sparkly treat for your eyes. Please smile for me like you used to, Princess.
It looks like that girl in the crib has been dead for a long time.
Did you receive permission to enter the princess's room?
I didn't. I'm so sorry. I was just...
Get out this instant! You are in the princess's room! This place is not open to the likes of you! Get out!
The guy's not listening to you. Let's get out of here while we can.
Be gone, you vermin! Get out and never come back!
healthy. Wow.
Oh, why won't he come home? I'm tired of watching the door. He'd usually make me some food and we'd eat together by now. I didn't even make a mess today. I didn't chew on the carpet or anything. Come home soon. Pet me and call my name. And then please, hold me. I've been waiting like such a good boy.
I must apologize for my previous behavior.
It's okay. I just got a little scared.
Such rude behavior is inexcusable. I was under the impression at the time that you intended to harm the princess. As a sign of my most earnest regret and sincere apologies, please accept this.
Oh, how cute. It's a little chick plushie.
It's got your face.
Wonderful observation. The princess adored this little doll, and it was handcrafted by yours truly.
Thank you very much.
As you have undoubtedly witnessed, I have been in the service of the princess for many years now. One day, she suddenly failed to wake up. Since then, I've collected rarities from across the land in hopes of rousing her. When she wakes from her slumber, she can smile at me again, like she always used to.
Your princess. That little girl is...
Ah, yes, the princess's smile, like a rose blossoming in spring. Such a lovely sight.
Yeah, but she's...
You don't have to say it.
So, if you stumble across any rare or beautiful items, please consider a trade with me. Best regards until we meet again. And with that, take care.
But that little girl is...
I know. But sometimes not telling the truth is the best thing you can do.
Maybe.
Death is something only humans perceive, after all.
Crow? Crow!
Nice job recognizing me. Good thing, too. My battery's about to run out any second now. I know, pretty lame, right? Seriously. I can't even really see anything anymore.
You're a...
You hit the nail on the head. That's right, you ain't looking at a human. I'm more like these discarded dolls around me. Nothing about me is human.
Maybe, but you're still my best friend in the world.
You listening? I'm not even alive.
You're my friend.
But I'm not human.
You're my friend, damn it!
Okay. I'm your friend. Come on, don't cry now.
Okay.
It's sort of funny. I'm almost jealous that you're able to cry. But really, it's enough already. Oh yeah. That skull ring I gave you. You still carrying it around?
Yeah. I keep it in my locket.
That's good. That ring is proof of our friendship. Our friendship.
You know, you're the first real friend I ever had.
You are my #1 friend. My best friend. My best friend. My best friend. My best friend. Thank you for everything, Seto.
Come on, he shut down.
You're wrong. He died. I hurt. I tire. And I collapse. When I'm staring into the darkness, I find myself somehow entranced by it. Suddenly, I hear laughter. Fearless, mean, and yet kind. It calls to me. The days we spent together are long gone, drifting away like clouds in the breeze, even though memories are often fleeting. All I need to do is close my eyes, and your face appears. Clear and forever young. This is so soothing. I see.
I can't die yet. There's so much I want to say to you. I have to get home. I promised I'd come home safe to see your smiling face. But now that might never be possible. So at least, could I get one more shot? One more chance to make amends? One more chance to see you, so I can say, I'm sorry. Sorry for committing so many sins that I'll never reach the place you will. For not being able to keep my promise.
Oh, I better warm up. I see. It's soothing watching the flames. What is this thing?
I'm not sure. It looks like a two-way radio. I wonder if it works.
This must be the switch. Hey, I hear something.
You have to turn the dial. That'll tune the radio into different frequencies. But I seriously doubt there's anyone out there to respond to the call.
Let's see. Here's the dial.
Anyone? Is anyone there? Come in! If anyone can hear this, please answer! Can anybody hear me? Is anybody there? Hello? Anyone at all? If you can hear... Hey! You hear me? Can anyone hear me? Has to be there. Please respond. Please, someone answer me. I'm here all alone. Me? You me? Everybody, where are you? Come on, everyone. Don't give up. You gotta answer, please. I don't want to be alone. Somebody. Can you hear me? Hey, can you hear me?
Hello? Where are you right now?
Hey, I'm right here.
I promise you, I'll come see you very soon.
Good. I'll be waiting. I'm always waiting.
I knew it. I knew that I couldn't possibly be the only one left in the world. See? There are still other people.
ID cannot be confirmed. You will be removed.
Phew. I'm tired.
You are my valued customer indeed. Have a nice day!
What does all this mean?
It means he's finally ready to begin. Follow me. No way! He destroyed a power plant? He must really be serious this time.
How dare you bring an intruder here, Sai? What were you thinking?
Stop! He's just a kid! He can't do anything!
Any threat to the project must be eliminated.
Any threat to the project must be eliminated.
Stubborn man! He never listens! Listen up. This thing may be huge and powerful, but its attacks are pretty slow. Take your time avoiding them. And see that red eye glowing at the center? That's the controller for the whole thing. Take that out and you'll stop it dead.
Controller? Stop it dead? How?
Man, you're slow. Use an arrow or something to shoot at that red thing. It's your only chance.
Okay, I got it.
Am I starting to talk to myself?
You know, there's a chance you might not meet anyone else, that you won't see another living human ever again. That this planet will become a world of ruins and wandering spirits.
Why would you say something like that? You heard the radio, there's lots of people left.
Maybe, but not if Glass Cage's power is unleashed throughout the world. These aurora lights are a sign it's going to happen. To be honest, I don't really know what he's trying to accomplish. It looks like he wants to do it again. But if the world suffers the same outcome as last time, it really will wipe out every last living human.
It can't. I mean, I have to at least save her.
And if you do manage to save her, then what do you do next? You really think you two will just somehow click with each other? What if you don't even get along? Maybe you won't understand each other. Maybe you'll hate each other. Relying on your faulty language to communicate? You humans will never fully understand each other. And you still want to see her knowing that? Do you still want to save her?
I don't know if we'll understand each other perfectly. But that's not what matters to me. I just want to feel her warmth beside me. I just want to hold her hand, to see what I see, and respond to what I say. That's all I really want. Wandering around alone, looking up at the moon by myself, I'm sick of it!
Listen, do you really want to save that girl? Even if you're successful, she might still reject you, you know? Who knows, she might even hate you. So are you sure you want to do this? That's enough of that now. Don't cry anymore. I'm going to tell you where you can find her. Hey, dry up those tears. Remember, you're on a mission to save her. I know the exact location where she's being held. Follow me. That room with the cage in it. You know, where all the cats were. That leads to where she is now. But from here on in, things get really, really dangerous. You could call it quits, but I already know you won't.
That's right. I'm stubborn.
I know.
We have to go. She's waiting.
Yeah. Let's get going.
Oh, man. tired.
Nice surprise.
I just don't get the boss these days. Behind the mill, I heard two men talking. They wore matching white uniforms, smeared with soot, while smoke seeped from the mouths on their young faces. I snuck up to where their shadows touched the earth and eavesdropped from behind a pole.
He missed the deadline again.
And he smacked me just yesterday. Said I left the ashtray full.
If he didn't dog us like that, he wouldn't have anything else to do.
He said all we do anyways is smoke cigarettes.
I just don't get him.
Oh, you said it.
There was the banging sound of a mallet. Word had it this mill was built by the skilled but eccentric foreman. He'd since taken on 2 assistants to make furniture around the clock, but the 2 men just idled their days away, breathing out an endless stream of white smoke.
It must be you-know-what.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Ask him.
You idiot, he'll do more than just box your ears if you do. I wouldn't complain even if he ran me through the sander alive.
Just can't win with him.
Boy, I'll say.
And with that, they let out white sighs.
It's seriously been a month since Fleur went missing? Guess she's not coming back. She probably finally had it with that barbarian. But I'm gonna miss how one look at her kiss her, and the boss's mood would do a 180.
That was as far as I overheard. Stealthily, I did an about-face and skirted the wall of the mill. From my neck now dangled a blue bell, the symbol of this mill. Today, I had come to be the boss's Fleur. Approaching the window, a loud voice boomed from inside.
I told you it's just not possible! You're not making any sense, you dimwit!
The sound of the receiver slamming down was coupled with wood being shaved. My ears stood on end, and trembles racked my body. The words, "run through the sander alive," danced in my head. No doubt it'd hurt like mad. I imagined it, looking down at the blue bell. Does it hurt more than death? Not having experienced either, I didn't know. But dying probably hurt more. At that thought, the trembling stopped. It must have hurt Fleur a lot.
I can't do this anymore!
This time, a piece of furniture flew out the window. Things were taking a turn for the worse. I couldn't control my shivers, and the blue bell let out a ring. The boss turned his wrinkled brown face in my direction and scowled. I thought he'd look right through me with his muddy gray eyes. I didn't have the beautiful body of Fleur at all. I was terrified he'd say I wasn't his lovely Fleur, and would run me through the sander right then and there. He suddenly swung his hand high. The palm of his weathered old hand was blistered, the skin like bark. I was sure he'd strike me. But instead, his hand came up to cup my face. His rough and powerful hand stroked my head so softly.
You scrawny little thing.
His gruff voice was more like a groan. The way it trembled struck my heart. Didn't he doubt me? Didn't he see right through me? Should I really let him continue stroking my head like this? I was speechless as he took me in his arms effortlessly. "Boys, get in here," he yelled behind the mill.
Quit your grumbling and get back to work. If you don't want me to wax your heads, then polish me some new wood. And step on it.
Despite being yelled at, the two men had twinkles in their eyes.
Boss is Fleur.
They hollered, hands in the air. Unable to speak, the blue bell spoke for me with a tinkle. At that moment, I had won over her name. I am Fleur. Fleur with her blue bell, petted by a hard-headed boss. I am a furniture maker's beloved daughter.
It's soothing watching the flames.
Enter this code into that keypad. 1004. It's his birthday. He was always distant and cold on the surface. But he had a tender side, too.
Who?
It doesn't matter. Just enter the code already. All right, let's go.
Achoo! I hope I'm not getting sick.
Oh, man. Wow.
Dawn was just about to break, and the subdued rays of morning light were finally spreading across the sky. I was taking my time, strolling through the bustling scene of the early hours. The clamor hurt my ears. Angry shouts rang from the main street, while flirts could be heard in the alleys. I avoided the hubbub on my way. Just being in a foul place like this made me remember the life I'd led. There was a shop with its door propped open. The music that wafted from within was not what you'd consider uplifting. The sign by the entrance was half shrouded in dark. The word Sylvia adorned it.
Boss, I think you've had enough,
a sweet voice said from behind the bar. The bartender was a long-haired woman in a sleeveless dress who was leaning against the wall.
I know it's up to you, but I think you've been hitting the bottle hard lately.
The voice was young and lilted, like that of a male cat calling to a female.
I think it might not...
Rika!
A glass clattered hard against the bar's surface, cutting her off. Silence followed.
Fine. Don't listen to me then.
The girl behind the counter took the glass to fill it, but grumbled in disapproval.
I'm just saying this out of concern for you. You look exhausted these days. And the last lady to run this place, well, you know.
Rika!
Again, the glass hit the counter. A cigarette was lit.
Once you're done, you can leave for today.
What?
Do you want me to fire you?
The woman bristled with anger. But the girl named Rika only shrugged her shoulders.
Don't say that. If you deserted me, I'd be all alone.
The glass she placed on the bar didn't smell of the pungent alcohol. It was a white liquid.
The last owner of this place died from alcohol poisoning. I don't want that to happen to you. See you tomorrow.
There was the sound of high heels approaching. I darted behind the sign.
Huh?
Rika looked up and down the alley, bathed in morning light.
Sylvia?
I already knew who she was calling to by that name. Rika gave a heavy sigh, for the first time, and dragged her feet down the dirty street. It was only when she was finally out of sight that I made up my mind. I'd never heard how Sylvia had been brought up before she died. She was so shy and quiet. There wasn't much to say about her. She was the one girl I didn't hate, but now I was going to steal her name. At first, I thought it was revenge. It had to be. Revenge against them for living better lives than me, and it was revenge against my own cruel fate. Step by step, I made my way through the half-open door into the shop and whispered, "Mama." The woman was slumped over the bar, the same as when Rika first left. She sluggishly hoisted herself up to look at me and shook her head as though she wasn't sure what she was hearing. I whispered once more, "Mama." That's when her barren eyes, laced with crow's feet, wrinkled in a squint.
Oh, so it's you.
She laughed with tears in her eyes.
You poor little thing. You look just the same as when you first came here.
Something about how she said that made her sound like Rika.
Where have you been? You've been gone for so long. What have you been doing with yourself? Here, drink up. You can have this. It's your favorite. I'll give you whatever you need. Anything at all.
There's a good girl, she cooed in a slow drawl, offering me the glass. I wonder if Sylvia was also served warm milk like this the first time she came here. "I'm sorry," I whispered for the first time to myself. I am Sylvia. Sylvia, with her purple bell. The little girl who was held close by Mama in a small downtown bar.
Achoo! I hope I'm not getting sick. Wow, very cool.
A tall human was watering the garden. His white shirt and black slacks were simple and clean.
Teacher!
As the two young children called out, a man who was watering the grass raised his head.
Yes? Anything the matter?
The man they called teacher kneeled down to peer at the young boy through his glasses.
Teacher, when's Lot coming back?
The question came from the little girl. Even from a distance, I could see the man's face grow dark.
Teacher, will Lot ever come back?
The little boy looked up expectantly, but their teacher could only furrow his eyebrows and purse his lips. More children gathered, questions alight on their small faces. Their matching white shirts were tattered with use. I could imagine that Lot, too, had joined this circle with her signature yellow bell. The young children didn't appear to have parents. They lived in the big, plain house with the man they called teacher.
Now, what's taking her so long? She's gone away before, but...
The teacher murmured an excuse, but the children wouldn't be soothed.
We want to play with Lot again. Maybe Lot's sick. Maybe she's hurt. I bet she misses us. She must miss us.
As worry spread among the children, the teacher asked them a question.
Let me ask you, does it make you sad to think that Lot's lonely?
Of course. We miss her.
The teacher nodded and continued. Then, if Lot knew how you missed her, it'd make her sad, right? His voice was gentle. As I watched from a distance, I hesitated momentarily. I knew that the yellow bell that Lot possessed was from this orphanage, which was why I'd come. But I couldn't imagine that she really had a family in this place. Would anyone care if she were gone? Their worries now put to rest, the children returned to their games, but one girl lingered behind. A freckled girl with curly hair.
But we're all...
The girl mumbled, looking down at her feet.
We're all still sad, even if Lot isn't lonely.
The teacher put his hand on top of the girl's head.
I suppose there are some things that can't be helped.
I know what you do at night,
the girl blurted, looking at him hard.
If you really felt it couldn't be helped, then you wouldn't be out searching for Lot every night after we've gone to sleep.
The teacher quickly put a finger to his lips.
Everyone's worried enough as it is.
But now I'm more worried about you, teacher.
The man simply nodded with a sad smile at the girl's words.
I know that. And I'm sorry.
Then, with the hose still in hand, he looked at the sky and spoke aloud.
Between you and me, I'm not all that worried about Lot. I'm sure she'll still survive outside these walls. All that matters is that we all considered her family. I'm sure she wants to treasure those words too, because the family we made here is the only one we've ever had. As far as I'm concerned, we're Lot's family, and as long as she knows that, Everything will be okay. And to be honest, I believe that Lot will return someday.
Night came, and the lights in the orphanage winked out. I slowly crept out from the shadows that spread before the orphanage. The moment the teacher saw me, he stopped in his tracks. The light from the full moon completely transformed me. I rang the bell, knowing it was all I could rely on.
Lot? Is that you?
Yes. It's me, Lot.
So then, does this mean you're ready to come back to our home?
But of course. If you'll have me, that is. Back at the orphanage, the freckled girl was trying her best to calm the children who were crying from the teacher's absence. For days now, she'd taken his place guarding them at night. Holding the young girl to him, the teacher announced my return to all the children, to all the family. I am Lot. Lot with her yellow bell. A gentle member of this orphanage, with a bigger family than anyone could ask for.
Be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID
The security's been activated. It's locked tight. Well, only one way to go. Forward!
Right.
No boy. Looks like a dead end. Guess he means business.
Huh? A dead end?
In other words, we're trapped in here.
I guess this is the end.
Huh? What's the matter? You're a guy, aren't you? It's too early to throw in the towel.
Oh, I know.
What is it?
Would you... Well, would you like to hear my story?
Sure.
A long time ago. Long ago, there was a brilliant scientist who discovered, well, the secret of interaction. That is, how humans connect emotionally. The hidden ability to communicate without words. Way in the past, people could have connected with each other using that power. So a bunch of really smart scientists got together to study the idea. They thought if they could reawaken this power in everybody, we wouldn't have to use words to understand one another. They concluded that it'd make the world a better place. There were wars at that time. People argued and fought over little things and big things alike. Everything was a point of contention, and people grew tired of it. The whole world was unanimous in supporting the project. Using a machine they called Glass Cage, humans sent a signal around the world to try and trigger the latent empathy faculty in people's heads. This would enable everyone to naturally harmonize with one another.
After that, what happened?
Well, everybody was excited. Now that they could convey exactly what was in their hearts, all sorts of misunderstandings and ill will would vanish overnight. That's what they thought. The entire world was bubbling with hope. Everyone believed it was the dawn of a new era. They believed and believed and smiled themselves to sleep. But then, the next morning, no one woke up. They slept and stayed like that forever. That's how they all died.
And you think it's happening again?
Yeah. That girl? She's gonna be the catalyst for it.
Catalyst?
Her heart will make the connection. And connect with everybody else on Earth. If it succeeds.
What if it doesn't work?
I told you. It'll be worse this time. Not a single soul will escape. And guess what? The first time around, I was the catalyst.
But, Sai, I don't get it. How did you end up as the catalyst?
Don't look at me. I have no idea. I lived a typical, ordinary life. And then one day, they forced me to take all these tests. Before I knew what was going on, they decided to use me. They plugged all these cords into my head, made me take strange medicines. It was all very weird. I'm telling you, in all my days, I'd never felt such intense pain. It happened every day. More experiments. They didn't care at all how I felt. But there was this guy. He had a heart. Sometimes he'd slip me chocolates and candy. He'd even stop by and ask me if I was doing okay. And also, he thanked me nicely.
I see. So you and that guy, well, you were like friends.
You crack me up. I mean, I wouldn't exactly call Shin and I friends. If I had to label us, we were... Wait a minute. How'd that cat get in here? The door's still locked shut.
And the exit is blocked with rubble.
Quick! After him! He might lead us to a way out!
I found it! The cat's meowing on the other side.
If you crouch down, you should be able to fit.
Here goes nothing. Achoo! I hope I'm not getting sick.
It's the same cat from before.
There he is!
How did he get here in the first place? Wait!
Man, I'm getting sleepy. Wow.
Though you're still so small, you'll soon be born. So this message is for you. There may come a day when you'll curse being born into this world. You'll wonder what you did to deserve this. And you'll probably have plenty of bitter words to tell me. But I don't think I'll be around by then to listen to your complaints. I want you to know how truly sorry I am. I just want you to believe this. No matter what happens, all we wanted was for you to be happy.
To-do list. 1. Eat a whole cake by myself. 2. Share a meal with my family. 3. Visit all the friends I can. 4. Read all the books I've wanted to. 5. Buy the clothes I always dreamed of. 6. Make up with that certain somebody.
The silver bell wasn't a particularly outstanding decoration, but it did ring the most beautifully. I'd always wondered what kind of home such a lovely bell had come from. It belonged to an old woman who lived alone without relatives, in a large mansion I'd never seen before.
Madam, it's time for supper.
Thank you, dear.
Madam, the lilies in the garden have bloomed. I've put them in this vase.
What a lovely scent.
Madam, it started raining. Allow me to close the windows.
Yes. And draw the curtains, too.
The old woman was waited on hand and foot by her servants. She'd rely on their help as she sat idly in her chair, listening to her favorite music. She'd even ask them to change out the records. But most of the servants seemed to genuinely adore their employer. But there was one thing the old woman would ask several times a day.
Excuse me, but could you call Chris here for me?
Later that same day.
Oh, where is Chris?
And again, even later.
Please find Chris for me.
Though normally obedient, this one request was always met with hesitation.
Madam, Chris is already...
The maids would start cautiously. Oh yes, you're quite right, the old woman would say, cutting them off.
She's not with us anymore, is she? I'd nearly forgotten.
She'd murmur with a nod. But not a few hours later, she'd ask the same questions again. She had them stop her favorite record.
Oh, wherever could my darling Chris be?
One rainy night, the mansion was in an uproar.
Madam! Madam!
The servants dashed through the halls in a frenzy. Finally, one of the maids shouted in despair.
Why can't I find her cane?
Though it wasn't too cold outside, the sheets of rain continued to pour relentlessly.
She couldn't have gone outside. Could she?
A chill passed over the gathered servants before they set out. They put on their coats and called for help outside. I tore my eyes from them and made for the rain-drenched town. Amidst the downpour, I smelled the sweet fragrance of Lily. In the back lane of a park, far from the mansion, I made out the figure of the old woman. She was surrounded by a crowd who moved and gabbed around her.
Come on, lady, you'll catch your death out here. Maybe you should see the police.
The old woman's shoes and designer clothes were soaked through. A man tried taking her by the hand, but the old woman refused to budge, her face adamant. Fed up with her antics, the men finally left, leaving her behind. I cautiously stepped just into her field of vision, and without saying a word, rang my silver bell. It rang clear through the rain. The old woman raised her head sharply in surprise, her blurry eyes looking at me.
Chris?
The old lady rasped. I rang the bell again in a nod, and then turned around.
Chris, wait! Wait for me!
Her cane clicked as she followed me. I may not be able to carry her all the way to the mansion, but it'd be enough to bring her to her servants. I stopped often to look over my shoulder, to make sure I didn't lose her. The sound of that beautiful bell was a beacon. At last, one of the servants noticed the old woman and shouted, "Madam!" As she ran towards her, the old woman bent down to scoop me up and held me, trembling. The servants weren't able to hide their surprise, seeing how much the late Chris had changed upon her return. Not one of them said that I wasn't Chris, because the old woman called me so. The maids nodded in obedience, just glad that their beloved employer had returned home safe. I am Chris. Chris with her silver bell. I'm the tiny, adorable Chris, loved by her grandmother in this grand mansion.
expected a weakling like you to make it this far.
What are you?
Hey, it's no use! Look out!
I do not have to answer to you. Any threat to the project must be eliminated. Fool. Your existence amounts to nothing more than a goldfish swimming upriver. When we were conceived, the age of man ended.
What? What are you talking about?
Our plan is on schedule. Make the most of the little time you have left.
We have to act fast!
Right. I guess the cat ran in here.
It'll be tight, but you can squeeze through. Be super careful.
Right.
Explain yourself, Sai. Why did you let a human in here?
First, you answer a question for me. Why are you reviving Glass Cage? What are you trying to do?
You don't need to know that.
Please, tell me the truth. If what happened last time...
Words can be frustrating, troubling things, Sai. I thought you, of all people, would understand.
But Shin, it's just that... if we could just talk, I know that I'd be able to...
That's enough. Soon, everything will be in order.
Why can't he... I don't understand. Why can't he see?
Let's go save that girl. Seto.
Yeah. Achoo! I hope I'm not getting sick.
Fancy meeting you here. A splendid surprise. I shall see you again.
If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed.
Maybe I'll sit down. Is this?
Here you are.
Thanks. Smells great. I swear, you brew a mean cup of joe.
You can thank the coffee maker for that.
No, it's more than that.
I don't have time for this. Please get back to your work.
Oh, come on. You deserve a coffee break too. Join me.
No, thank you. I have duties to attend to.
Always the diligent worker.
Compared to your idleness, perhaps, Doctor.
The team doesn't need a dimwit like me to get the job done right. They're plenty smart enough.
But, Doctor, you were supposed to be one of the finest in the world.
Yeah. That's why I think they made a mistake.
Hardly. All you lack is the drive.
I don't prescribe to the where there's a will belief.
Doctor.
I know. I've still got a job to do, so I'll do it.
In that case, would you please get on with it?
Wait a minute. You think this might be me?
I don't know. Doesn't really do you justice. I wonder if that girl drew it. She's not very good.
Hey, don't say that. I think it's cute.
Yeah, whatever you say.
She was here. I just know it.
Maybe so. But she's not anymore.
Yeah, we have to find her.
If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed.
Maybe I am alone in this world. She was here. Yeah.
If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed.
Man, I'm getting sleepy.
Glass cage launch preparations complete.
We're running out of time! Hurry!
Right.
First, some advice.
What is it?
The next room has a huge vat full of toxic substances. It's really dangerous. Don't waste any time. Your health will deteriorate the longer you stay in there. Run like there's a ghost on your tail.
Got it.
If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the
Wait, what's going on? Right.
First,
what is...
The next room, don't run.
If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed.
Yeah!
If the ID cannot be confirmed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed.
It's so cold. Achoo! I hope I'm not getting sick.
Glass.
We're...
Right.
First,
What is...
the next, it's... Don't run.
the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot... If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will... If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed,
Maybe I'll sit down.
This next room is guarded by motion sensors.
Motion sensors?
Well, that means that when one of them is tracking you, you can't move a muscle.
What if I do?
You'll have a whole mess of trouble to deal with.
Then I won't move. How hard can that be?
I mean it. Don't even blink. Got it?
Really?
Really.
I'll do my best. No. I wonder if she's going to be all alone now.
This next room. I'm.
Really? Oh.
This next room is guarded by motion sensors. This is it. Beyond this door is the girl you're looking for.
Finally.
Wait.
Yeah?
Just be careful. You hear me?
I will. It's soothing watching the flames.
Language is truly an ineffectual means of communication, and as such, humanity's reliance on it will never grant them the evolution they desire. Indeed, humanity has digressed to an outdated organism.
Then what's activating Glass Cage supposed to do?
What else? It is a destructive force that will completely obliterate corporeal beings.
Obliterate? No!
Why would you do it? What would you possibly gain from something like that?
Your petty verbal arguments are nothing more than a vintage relic. No explanation I can offer will make you understand my aim. Humans are held down by too many chains. There's too much noise. It's a disorganized mess.
Now is the advent of our era. Humanity's reign is over.
Anyone who threatens the project must be eliminated.
Help. Please. Is anyone out there?
Stop it! If you hurt him anymore...
I may have underestimated the boy's sheer resolve.
Who's that? Is someone there? I can hear you breathing, you know.
You okay? It's me.
Who's there?
Can't you see me?
I'm sorry. I can only see shadows. But it's okay. I'll get my sight back very soon. You touched me.
Yeah, I touched you.
You're so warm. Who are you? Tell me.
It's me, Seto.
And my name is... That's the backup system. It's finished copying her psyche to the AI. It looks like Glass Cage will still go live.
And this time everyone will die. What do we do?
I don't know about this backup system. But I think I know where Shin escaped to. We have to go there. It's our only hope. Let's hurry.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right, let's go. Man, I'm getting sleepy.
There. That must be where Shin is. Scary.
You guys wait here. I'll go up.
No, I'm coming with you.
I'll be fine. Just stay put. I'll be back real soon.
Do you promise?
Okay. Sure, I promise. Listen, Sai. I have to do this alone. I want you to look after her for me.
Well then, somebody sure has gotten used to ordering me around, huh? But I understand. You just don't want her to be alone while you're off. Wait a second.
What?
Right there. You've got a scratch on your forehead. Here, I'll put a bandage on it. Stay still.
Okay.
For good luck. I guess it's pretty weird for a ghost to be talking about good luck. Come back alive, okay? And Seto, whatever you do, stop him.
Yeah, I will.
If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. Please call the
I am happy you made it this far.
It's you! But how?
The probability of you fulfilling your mission is... Knowing you will be successful to the very end. I am by your side, always watching over you. Good luck.
If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will please call the If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed.
Well, well. You look tuckered out, but there's still a ways to go. So don't fade away yet. You hear? Don't overdo it. If you're feeling spent, have yourself a good rest.
Thank you. I will.
There's my boy. I believe in you, just as you believed in me. You can do it. You hear?
If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. If the ID cannot be confirmed, you will be removed. Please call the
technical. Are you ready? Show me what you're made of. You're almost there!
Crow!
Oh, don't get so excited. I said I was your friend, right? And because we're friends, we gotta look after each other.
Thanks, Crow.
No problem. Now don't kill yourself, but give him all you got.
Man, I'm getting sleepy. Phew, I'm tired.
Why do you fight me?
Why do you insist on wiping out mankind?
Communication through speech is meaningless. You will never comprehend this fact.
You're right. I don't understand you at all! But, no matter what, I know I need people. I'm sick of being all alone in this world!
Words will get you no further!
Why? Why are you trying to destroy the world?
It turned its back on me.
What do you mean? The world did?
Long ago, when I was part of the Human Empathy Expansion Project, I secretly made myself the first test subject. I felt it was my responsibility that a project of this magnitude be carried out as safely as it possibly could. As a result of the tests, I no longer relied on words to reveal the thoughts and feelings of those around me. I believed in the success of this project to grant everyone the ability to empathize by making their thoughts transparent. But you see, when I listened to the thoughts of those all around me, all I heard was jealousy and contempt. My colleagues acted kind, but behind their innocent words was concealed resentment. Some of them envied my scientific ability and youth. Others opposed the very core of my character. They were wolves in sheep's clothing. Such contempt, flooding the air around me. The weak scorned, the strong envied. Even the elderly were regarded not with respect, but disdain. And at the heart of all those negative thoughts was always me. Me. Whatever empathy may have been felt for others was quickly trampled by people's self-interest. The world is overflowing with hatred and spite. So long as that bitterness remains in the minds of men, this thing we call society will be nothing more than a farce. The world is a hell packed with mean-spirited monsters imprisoned by their very natures, who hold on to hate, revenge, and ill will. Even my parents turned against me. They saw me as a monster. They showed me nothing but hatred. Nobody ever understood me. No one loved me. Wanting to end it all. Why is that wrong?
I don't believe you!
You? I thought you supported me in my ideas. We'd both become AIs and start a new world.
No, not like that. The only thing I ever wanted was to be with you. I just wanted to be near you. I needed to be part of your life. When I was brought to the lab, I was so lonely and scared. But you smiled at me and told me to hang on. When you visited and snuck me candies, you touched my hand with your gentle touch. The way it made me feel. You have no idea how happy I was. Shin, the truth is that I love you.
But why couldn't I sense that emotion?
Don't you see? When it comes to the important things, I guess you just have to put them into words.
So there it goes. The AI mainframe in its crystal form. We will soon disappear now. Then Glass Cage will never be able to be reactivated.
Fool. You choose such an uncertain, intangible thing as love.
Thank you for everything you've done, Seto.
Thank you.
And then we traveled together. And after countless summers, one day, I was all alone again. A peaceful end. At the end of everything, I was truly and utterly alone.
Oh, wow. Look, the moon is so full.
Yeah, it sure is. Oh, hey, listen. In all this time, I don't think I ever got your name.
Ren.
Ren.
Seto.
Yeah. Well then, there are still plenty of survivors all over the world. Let's go find them.
Okay.
What is it?
Thank you, Seto, for being here.
Hey, Ren!
What is it, Seto?
Thank you for being with me, Ren.
ここから東に向かうと、大きな赤い鉄塔が立っている。そこには、お前以外の誰かが生き残っているかもしれない。僕は一人ぼっちになった。
フラジール、さよなら、月の廃墟。あなたは誰？
僕は瀬戸。ここから東に向かうと、大きな赤い鉄塔が立っている。そこには、こうして手紙を残すことも、私にとっては大きな迷いだった。お前と過ごした日々そのものが、私にとっての宝石だった。伝えたいことが、話したいことが、なぜ別れが迫った今になって溢れるのか。愚かな私を許してほしい。ここから東に向かうと、大きな赤い鉄塔が立っている。そこには、
月はまん丸いはきれい。誰？
お前以外の誰かが生き残っているかもしれない。
触った。
僕は生きなさい。それから今までありがとう、瀬戸。
助けてください。ここにいます。早く助けてください。
銀色の髪をした女の子、見かけたりしなかった？
知らない。自分で探しなさいよ。
人間ね。
あの子に会ってどうするの？
わからないけど、僕の話を聞いてうなずいてくれる誰かにそばにいてほしい。
まだ他に生き残りがいたか。
この先に私たちに害意ある何かが潜んでいるようです。
僕たちは襲われちゃうかもしれないってこと？
はい、 80% の確率。
君は
名前は？あなたがあなた以外の誰かと分かり合えることは
僕はセトって言うんだ。
もう永遠にできなくなるかもしれない。
戻れ。もうすぐグラスケージが起動する。
どうしてそんなこと言うのさ。
言ったでしょ。今度こそ本当にこの星には誰もいなくなるわ。
そんな。僕はあの子を助けたい。
それか